Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Bima Rizal Prasetyo and welcome to my presentation video. In this video, I will talk about history of instant noodle. And before we begin, I will show you these pictures. So these pictures are the instant noodles brand from Indonesia. These are the packaging and some of the example of many. And before we go to the main points, I will give you some of idea, or maybe this are a question for you. Have you ever wondered yourself while in the middle of the night you feel a bit hungry and craving late night snacks? Maybe instant noodle you are a go-to option for your snacks or late night snacks in this case. Have you ever questioning yourself, how did people back then have this kind of idea to create this instant noodle? And to answer that question, these are the main points or the essential question that I'm gonna try to answer and give you some of idea how the first instant noodle came to be. So the first question is what, who, why, where, when, and how. And for the first question is what. We will talk about what. What is the first instant noodle and how does it look? And these are the first ever instant noodle invention. So it's called chicken ramen. This is what the first invented instant noodle in the world looks like. It's called, like I was mentioned before, chicken ramen. Chicken is like the word chicken, and ramen means noodle, or also known as magic ramen or magic noodles. And after that is who. We will talk about who was the first inventor of instant noodle. And to answer that question is this person, the father of instant ramen. This is the picture of Momofuku Ando, the inventor of the first instant noodle ever created in the world. Born in March 5th, 1910, in Puzi City, Taiwan. He was an inventor and also founder of Nissin Food Products Co. Ltd. And for the third question is where. We will talk about where. Where was instant noodle originally invented? So it was invented in the land of the rising sun. The first ever instant noodle was invented in Ikeda City, Osaka Prefecture, Japan. So I was mentioning before that the first ever instant noodle called chicken ramen. So it's an English word, uh, uh, I mean Japanese word of English, some kind of like that. So chicken in Japanese, it's pronounced chicken, and ramen is the words for noodle in Japanese. And after that, the fourth question is when. We'll talk about when. When was the first instant noodle invented? So I will show you instant noodles timeline. So the first instant noodle is invented in 1958. It's the chicken ramen from Japan. And after that, these are some couples of instant noodle brands examples in the world. So the second after that, well, technically not second, but after that is in 1963, Samyang is instant noodle brands from Korea was produced. And after that, in 1972, Indomie is the famous instant noodles brand in Indonesia was produced. After that, in United Kingdom, they got pot noodle, which produced since 1977. And the most current is in 2014 in Spain. There's an instant noodle brand called Yakico. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And after that, the fifth question is why? What was the original purpose of instant noodle invention, or why instant noodle was invented? What is the purpose of this invention? So the first instant noodle was invented with the goal to help end hunger in Japan. The noodle was dried up to make it last even longer than freezing the noodle, and it also helped pre-cook it, so the process of cooking will be faster rather than you make it from scratch. And the last question is how? How was the first intended purpose of instant noodle compared to how it came to be in the modern living world? And to answer that question is this. How it goes, the first instant noodle was invented with the purpose of creating a quick serve and cheap meal with a longer shelf life to help hunger problem. And in the current modern living world, instant noodles are seen as a cheap food with a questionable reputation for health. But in the other perspective is popularity, how popular it came to be. According to a survey by the World Instant Noodle Association, it is estimated that Indonesian especially consume 12.52 billion servings of instant noodles nationally in 2019. So to look at in this perspective, it's came pretty far from it was first invented to help hunger and it became really popular now. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for watching. And maybe if you have any question, you could type it on comment or something. Uh, I guess that's all what I will say and see you next time.